Mm. Good morning. Good morning out there. This is the 30 Day Show. I am Omi Bell and I'm here with my co-host Cameron Calvin. How you feeling this morning?
I am. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great.
Good. How was church yesterday?
Church was church was enlightening. It was a little. How do I put this?
How do you put it? Tell me.
Church was good. Um,
What?
it
What?
was a little.
Why you acting weird about it? Did you go to church? You ain't go to church, did you? You ain't
I
go to
did.
church.
No, no. It was. You've ever seen an X and then another X all
Uh-oh.
in
Wait a
church?
minute. Not in the church. In the church.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
you
something
know
like
what?
that.
The Lord
That's
loves all
the
exes.
Lord, and the Lord will see you through.
You know what I mean? You know
He
what I'm saying? Won't
the
he
the
do it?
Lord.
Won't he do
Won't he
it?
do it? He will
Okay.
see you through. He will see you confrontation free.
Confrontational free, Lord. Amen and amen again. What
Yes.
did you
And then I went shooting afterwards.
oh nice. Okay.
Skeet clay and skeet shooting.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant you went you went to the range. I mean,
No, like
listen.
a gun range, but I mean shooting out like the pull
Oh, that kind of okay, got it. My bad, my
skeet
bad.
shooting.
My bad. I was lost. But yeah, I'm back. Okay, good. I love that actually. I have never done it before, but I think it's great. I mean, I think it's cool. How does it feel? You're on mute. I don't know what happens every week. Something happens with you and your audio. We have our first guest here too, Tasha. I see you. I'll bring up in a second. I can
I'm
now
not on
hear. There you go. Now I can hear you.
the red light wasn't on for me. Um it was my shoulder hurts. Because we shoot each box of rounds is 50 rounds. I think we did the safety and practice course, which is about 5 to 7 rounds, and then we shot 200 rounds. Me and my homeboy, so that means about 100 rounds each of a 12 gauge shotgun.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's high and tight.
Mm.
And then look, can we talk about just a PSA to everyone? This is a PSA
Mm-hmm.
out to everybody with it's not racism,
Mm-hmm.
it's stereotype. My home I'm 6'2" and a half, almost 6'3", 6'3" for the ladies. But I'm a legitimate 6'2", about 210, 215 if I ate too much. Uh,
Yep, I lost you again. I don't know what's happening. I can't hear you. This is so weird. I feel like every time.
can you hear me now?
Yep, now you're back.
All right, it was my mic and it was supposed to have been on. It says it was on. Sorry, but anyways, long story short, my homeboy is also about 6 feet, 220. So the guy who's teaching us, old guy, late 60s, 70s. He's the instructor. When I say if somebody says, "Hey, but you guys are big guys, you can handle this," or "You guys are big guys, you can handle that." Oh, I didn't even think about. Like he just kept making you all are big and can handle this, or you're tough and strong,
Hmm.
which is not things you don't want to be called,
You want to be tough
but
and
it
strong, but
but
feel like
when
you were
you
saying something else.
yeah, just like you know black guys can help. Not even black guys. Like it started with. It started with he was telling us a story about some unruly people who had
Oh,
worked there, and he gives you
and
all
were they
these
black?
example. No, he gives you all these examples of like how you're supposed to hold the gun for safety. It was a safety course. And then he's like, I mean, hell, we could have just hired you guys as security. Hell, we may need to hire you security if you need extra, if you want some extra work. Kind of joking serious. And then that started the you're tough and strong, big and strong, like drop ins into the conversation at least 9 more times. And then I was just like, we just said, okay, yeah, thank you, thank you, okay, yeah, thank you. But it was like I just felt some type of way about it. Do you know that where there's like it's they over stereotype you in a conversation somebody does? You ever had that feeling? All right,
Absolutely.
I wish my story
Absolutely.
was a little cooler than that because you were
No, no,
just
no,
like,
no. No,
yeah,
sorry. I'm distracted. I've been up for a minute and I have one more piece that I need to add to this app before I can have everybody get on it. And so I've been right before this, I want
the
everybody to
one
be able to
Maria
use it
started,
today. Yeah, the
the
one that
one
she
Maria started.
started. Yeah. I want to be able to finish it today. I want to be like, before we get off air, I want to be like, everybody go try the breathing bell. Okay. And so, and I will be able to do that. But I got like a few more pieces I need to like put together with the audio. So that's why I'm a little distracted. But no, yes, I have had that happen to me. I can't recall one in this moment, but I feel like if you're a black woman, I mean, like, hey, I feel like yes, like, but I don't know. I can't recall when at this moment it happened to me, and maybe because I really try to block them out, and it's a little bit of like, you might be go through a little PTSD with stuff like that. And it's interesting because I think as I think about creating like spaces of healing and belonging and things like that, I've heard a lot of with 3B. I've heard a lot of people go, there's something to the cross cultural piece of that. Like sometimes black people don't like to be in like healing spaces with white people because it gets real crunchy and then it just gets real different and then we don't resonate in the same way. And or like, or sometimes um black people may view themselves as a little bit more grounded in certain realities. So there's certain things that people of other cultures might say that just don't resonate, and then there's like, but there's versions of it in all ways. And so like on different sides. So like, I know flighty, airy black folk healers, you know what I mean? But like, it depends on who you are encountering. So like, being comfortable in the spaces like that where you're really being like vulnerable or like there's weapons around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, bro, this ain't the time to be like, what you really think of me? You know what I mean? Like, what's happening right now? Such that I can feel like I actually, like, there's no belonging what was interrupted there was like this idea of belonging, like where you belong. You belong in security, not behind this gun. Too is like the mentality. And then if you are gonna be behind this gun, you shouldn't need my help because I'm just a frail white man. You know what I mean? Like it's like it is there's all this positioning too, and really, you know, in some ways, it's a joke like joke on myself before you joke on me. Weird thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's the dynamic that it comes out as. It's
I
like
felt that. I felt that.
yeah, it's like I know you. I see you, and I'm intimidated by you, or you see me, and you know I'm not as great as you. So let me just go ahead and call it out. And then while I call it out, I need to put you in a place. So if you need a job, why are you talking to two highly educated black men? You know what I mean? Like that. If you need a job, bro, seriously. But anyway, because he knew that too. He's like, oh, these are not the average black man comes here. So he knew that y'all were not average black men. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
in
Yeah.
general, not and but again, I didn't take anything. He was kind of hard to do. It was just like, oh, it's been a while since somebody told me how big and strong I was. You know, the last guy who did that and gave me a good arm squeeze,
Who was that?
your 46th president.
Oh.
Joe Biden. Oh, looks like he can still he has go-to lines. And one of them is, oh my gosh, look at this guy. Looks like he can still play.
Ah.
I thought I thought it was a black thing, and then I saw him it's just his thing.
That's
This is what
hilarious.
I
I'm
saw it doing to me and one other black guy, and then I saw him like, oh, he just does this to tall, muscular people.
all right. I'm gonna bring up our first guest today. Tasha Jones coming to the stage. Oh. Oh, Tasha, you have like it sounds like a lot of static or something.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, your background's loud. Do you have something playing in the background? Yeah, I don't know. If sound like it's like okay, let me see. Cause it. Oh yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe go out and come back in. Also, like it sounds like you got a bit echo in the room that you're into, but that part could be fine. If but you might have to go out and come back in. Good morning, Tiffany. So what I was doing, as you came on, maybe go out and come back in, Tasha. Let's see if it works. What I was doing as you came on, because I'm usually on at least a few minutes before 6, and today I like clicked in right
That's
at
how I was
6.
like,
Yeah, no, no, no. I was up though. I got up
I
like
wasn't up. I wasn't up. I
yeah,
was
you
up
was
till
up.
5:15 in the morning.
Why?
I was editing Bender, shooting and editing Bender.
Oh, got it. I got up because I know I needed to record this 10 minutes, at least the 10-minute yoga nidra so that I can put it on the app. So I was literally doing that and I finished it right as 6 o'clock was hitting and I was like, oh shoot, I need to hop over here. What's happening in the news though? What you got? What's happening in politics this week?
What's happening in the news? Let's talk about Robert Mueller died. Did we talk about that already?
We did not. And tell me
Robert
more.
Mueller. Robert Mueller, you remember the special counsel who investigated Trump in the
Mm.
election? And Trump did probably the most indecent, insensitive thing ever. He wrote on Truth Social, and I want to make sure I get this correct in terms of Trump said he was glad. Trump put out a Truth Social basically saying he was glad he died. Not accidentally quoted. He literally said, Robert Mueller, he's like, I'm glad he died. Now he can't hurt more people. And then
That's wild.
you watched how Republicans twisted themselves in a pretzel, including JD Vance on interviews like, oh, you have what's it called? Basically, you have free speech. He's allowed to do that. He's allowed to say that. You know what I mean? Let me read this. Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. And in a time like that, former director of the FBI, whether you believe in he was actually apolitical. They tried to turn him political. He's probably the most apolitical publicly. He just did what he was assigned to do. By all accounts, was a great and honorable civil servant. Like I said, former director of the FBI, but was most known for leading the special investigation into Trump. And for the leader of your country to publicly say that, it's one thing if he got caught on a hot mic. That was uh, it, it's not that the decorum is just gone. It's not just that, because decorum is gone, but it is, what are we aspiring to? You remember you used to, whether Republican or Democrat, you still be like, oh, look at the president as like, to kids, as like, oh, this is how you're supposed to act. And it's just day in and day out, he shows you just like he is not a role model. In other news, are y'all flying out there? Have you been flying? Are you flying out there? Because
Flying out
they
there, what you mean, LA? Or are
like
people out there
literally,
flying?
no, I'm better stated. See, I know you're on the radio. Are people out there flying? Because DHS and ICE, TSA, they're still working on they're still working on ending the Department of Homeland Security shutdown. Well, most people don't realize is for over a month now, Department of Homeland Security has been unfunded
Mhm.
because they're fighting over obviously ICE funding and and but there's also TSA. And so TSA, and you've seen some of these viral clips of the chaotic lines in Atlanta specifically, but others, and more TSA agents are quitting. They're saying if you can do something nice for them, do something nice. But TSA agents are not being paid, and they're not like it's a highly trained job to begin with, and it's causing a lot of it's causing a lot of like lines and so forth. So they are saying that ICE, or essentially ICE, has been coming in and been called in, or they're calling them in to to replace or assist uh TSA.
Oh my God. That look, it is at this point we might as well be walking through the airport like we walking out of freaking department stores. Like that's the level of security it's getting to. I'll just walk through and just if you make sure you don't have nothing. Like it's crazy. But do you think that this is part of Republicans' plan? Do you think this is a part of Republican strategy? Like it's like, oh, okay, well, y'all don't want to give us the funding. We got goons that'll work for free. Wait, something happened to Cam. He got stuck. Lord have mercy, child. Oh, okay, you weren't saying that.
Yeah, you
Okay.
hear me?
Okay, I hear you now. You wasn't moving. Okay. Go ahead. Did you hear what I
Say
said?
playing with me. Uh it's all in Project 2025.
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah, you here. I said, yeah.
What's up? Oh, okay. No, it's all in Project 2025, the
What is
privatization of
happening?
TSA.
I don't know what's happening with you over there. You talking to somebody in the house or you talking to us?
No, you didn't hear what I said. I said
Oh,
it's
you
all
looked
happening, the
around and you said, "What's
privatization of
up?" I
TSA.
ain't
That
know
was
if
in
you.
Project.
I ain't know what was
No,
happening.
oh, I'm saying what's up, like as in the Wi-Fi. I'm just looking out. That was just me, like I don't know who fucking with my Wi-Fi, but
Right.
somebody out here fucking with my Wi-Fi. That's why I was looking around.
Oh, okay, got it,
That
got it,
was
got it.
dramatic effect. That was meant
No,
to be
my
for
bad.
dramatic effect.
My bad.
Anyway,
It's in Project 2025. So what the thing about this is, and I want to hold that thought because I want to talk about that because I want to ask you as a strategist. I want to ask you some questions as a political strategist because I think that like the how you get ahead at all, it just feels it feels powerless in a way. Whereas like the Democrats holding out for good reason, but even they're holding out in different ways to be weaponized. So it's just it's hard to feel like there's headway to be gained on the positive side. But yeah, let me I want to bring up Tasha. Speaking of positive
all right, let's
sides,
try Tasha.
let's try Tasha again. Okay, Tasha, here we go. You there?
I'm here. Is this better?
That is better. It's still a bit of an echo, but it's better. We're not on
Okay.
Are
radio,
you
so it's okay. Like we're on.
are you doing it just sounds like a constant white noise in the background.
Like there's water running, or like you have like a at night I listen to ocean sounds. Is that like it's
That's what it's,
And crazy, no, I don't. And I'm actually in the area I normally do podcasts, so it's usually not. I don't know what that sound is.
I don't think your microphone is connected though, because it don't sound like you're on a mic. It sounds like you're on speakerphone.
Mm,
I mean,
I
we can
have,
hear you better now, but it doesn't sound like your mic though.
yeah, and that's crazy because I have the little podcast mic, but I put this on since I don't know. I have no. It's quiet. There's nobody here. There's no air conditioner on. The phone
I
is
don't
on
know.
mute, on silent, so I don't know.
see
And at
this
the
what they
bottom
do. This what they do.
when you
This
click
what
the
they do when
arrow
they take
beside the
this off.
microphone, it has the headphones selected. Is
Yeah,
that at the
let's
bottom of
see.
your screen when you click the up arrow beside the
Yes, it
yeah, I
says
don't know.
default headset, ear headset, earphone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, it's cool. We can hear you fine though. Tell us about the Aspire Collective. One, thank you for joining us this morning. It's good to
So,
see you. I appreciate you.
yes, thank you for having me. It's been a very, very long time. First time I met you, was back when you were doing the Google influencer thing. I think there was
Hmm.
a startup founder, Rashonda.
Rashandra Mason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you were hosting them in DC for
Mm-hmm.
presenting their platform. So thank you for doing what you do, and as long as you've been doing it,
That
um,
wow. You man, that was a long time ago.
it
Yeah,
was,
that's what's up. That's what's up.
it was.
Yeah. Okay,
But
wait,
it's
real quick before you. What do you want people to go? Your IG website. Which one?
so on IG we're the THE Aspire Collective, and that's ESPIRE Collective, the Aspire Collective. We're also on LinkedIn, same name, the Aspire Collective, and then you can catch us on our website at theaspirecollective.com. Keeping
Okay,
it
got it.
simple.
Got it. All right, perfect. Okay, go ahead. Tell us about it.
So Aspire Collective is a ecosystem. It's a talent ecosystem to enable and bridge the gap between independent and boutique consultancy experts and enterprise execution. I've heard you guys talk a lot about how it's been a struggle basically. How we work, how we live, everything is constantly shifting, and even more rapidly with the advent of AI and agentic capabilities and technology. It's really shifting and changing how we work. For the smaller companies that exist in the US, which make up the majority of companies, over 99% of businesses in the US are small businesses. That's 500 employees or less. And 45% of those are employers that have 1 to 4. And of course, when you start looking at demographics of ethnicities, Black and Brown businesses make up a significant amount of that majority. And unfortunately, from an infrastructure perspective, those companies tend to have less support. And even though technology has been the great equalizer, it also has homogenized a lot of the markets, especially when we're talking about professional services and companies that provide that like knowledge work, I would say. And so Aspire Collective was born out of me being a consultant. I've been in the government space my entire career. A Navy veteran, that's how I started. I grew up in the intelligence community doing counter threat finance and counterinsurgency analysis. So a lot of data. I was a data analyst before that was a thing in the intelligence space. And over the years, growing roles of escalating authority, responsibility, from being a line worker to an executive, managing multi-million dollar initiatives, both in the government as a civil servant. I was at FBI. So Cameron, you stating I was listening to you guys talk about Director Mueller. He was an amazing person, and he did very much try to be atypical and fair in the best way possible. And that's speaking outside of how people feel about the FBI as an agency and its history over time. But he was a very good person. Um, and so I was a government person with FBI. I've been military, and I've been in the intelligence space. I've been in private sector. I started consulting back in 2019, and this model of Aspire Collective is something that is a system that I ended up developing because I couldn't find what I was looking for in support and being a consultant. And what we do is provide infrastructure. And what I mean by that is you can go after public and private opportunities, and we have infrastructure that enable smaller firms to come together as a collective in order to partner and bid on those opportunities. But we also get private sector opportunities from mid-market firms looking for expert, experienced consultants that have services across finance, technology, regulatory and statutory compliance support and assessments, you name it. We're industry agnostic. But the intent is to focus on those small independent professionals as well as boutique firms that are 2 to 5 individuals to be a collective of collectives, providing that infrastructure for them to scale and grow, to mitigate the impact of this constant change that we're experiencing because of this economic volatility.
Okay, I love that. Well, one, because I'm also
I may
thinking that
need you guys because I
well,
want to
there
do
may
that.
be a partnership to first to talk about with Black Girl Ventures, but tell me more about, and I apologize if I missed this, but when you say support, what exactly does that mean? So how is it, how are you working with them? How do you, is there a choice, like, are you choosing them? So like, is there criteria to be a part? What's the criteria to be a part of the collective?
So we have 4 different membership tiers of the collective. And the first tier is the most loose and most open. You can pay and join. It's $50 a month. You get access to our platform. We're hosted on a Circle platform for the
Okay,
Aspire
nice.
Collective.
How do you like Circle, by the way? So we have at BGV, we have BGV Connect, and we're on Mighty Networks. But people have been
Yeah.
telling me I'm gonna launch a community for an ecosystem for 3B, which is body, business, and belonging. And people have been telling me to consider Circle. How do you like Circle?
I do like Circle. In order to fully realize what we want to do, we're going to have the customized app developed for that. That is in the roadmap. We'll get more funding. But for what it provides now, I compared it against, and Mighty Network was one of them. But we decided to go, with Circle. It's a good platform. I like it. There's some, because of how we're structured, like I said, we have that first tier, the member partner consultant. They get access to the community. They get access to our resources. We host Ask Me Anything on Webinar Wednesdays. We have our meet and greet once a month for new members. And then we do a quarterly expert talk where we bring in experts that across different areas that, smaller firms need to have awareness of. Usually when you're small, you got multiple things going on. You may have your primary business, especially if you're a services provider like me, a consultant, where you have contracts, but then you may have an Airbnb. You may have a few cars on Turo. You may have some other type of something that you're doing. And so it's good to have, financial experts come in and talk to you about optimizing how you structure your business to maximize like the tax benefit and how to develop that wealth over time. So we have, experts that come in and talk about financial aspects. They talk about insurances. They may talk about how to prepare for funding or different types of business models, depending on what your exit strategy is. And even if you're a business of one, you should have an exit strategy. What is your exit for that business of one? And how do you structure your business model to be most advantageous for how you're deciding to transact business and eventually scale out of that business? And so as a member partner consultant, they get access to all of the events that we have internally. We do external events as well. We're partnered with the Apex Accelerator at George Mason and Herndon's Office Evolution to host a operations optionality workshop on CRMs. So we're going to help companies understand what a CRM is, why it's important to their business. And then the second half will be a hands-on practical where we walk them through setting up a CRM at no cost, put it on their phone, and we'll teach them about evaluating those different types of products so that they have that optionality to assess different products to determine, do they want to stay on the platform they're on or go to something different, and how to do that without getting locked in with the data. And so the intent is to provide, when I say resources, it's information and knowledge, it's network with other potential partners, but it's also tangible, hands-on processes and systems, bless you, that they can use in order to transact their business. And the reason is because government spends millions of dollars supporting small businesses, but usually a lot of the focus is either on brick and mortar. There's been a huge push for traditional startup founders who are venture backable. And typically these services type firms are not that, right? And then the other piece, and not to say none of this is needed, because it is. But the other piece also is that it's usually recycled information that you could probably look up if you did a little bit of homework on like SBA's website or some other local organization that provides how to do business with X, locality or X private sector or what have you. But it's rarely information that helps a small business um, operationally, which is where most small firms tend to falter, whether it's a lack of knowledge or information internally, um, or it could potentially be that they're transitioning and they falter on that transition because they just don't know how to do it. They don't have the right resources or people that are there, and they're usually spending, their profit margin is impacted because they're either spending too much externally, trying to pay other people to come in, but don't really know how to vet and validate they know what they're doing. There's like all these little nuances that happen that
No,
they
for
just don't
sure.
get
Dr.
help with.
Tara, I see you in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
yeah.
apologize. You asked me. So there's 4 tiers. For that first tier, you can just join. This is more for people who are consultants, but maybe they still are W-2 and they're trying to figure out that transition. This gives them community. We have discounts with our product vendor partners that can help with like back office setup, or if you want to set your business entity up. We have an insurance partner. We have an operations partner. We're partnered with Marvelism, which has the agentic AI employees that come. So if you're one of the top tiers, you get a year subscription to that for free. But our other 3 tiers are premium memberships, and those are at $4,500 one-time fee. And then there's an annual $600 renewal. I'm sorry, $800 renewal. And then we have our principal partner, which is $8,000 one-time fee and an annual renewal. And then our boutique partner consultancy is for small firms, which are 2 to 5.
No question for you. Are you so? I think this is awesome. And in this, well, I don't want to have you go through everything, but I guess because my question is like, what's the difference between what you get when you are $4,500 versus if you're $50 a month? What's the difference?
Access to profit share.
Oh,
So
got it. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
our members, when you join, any private sector opportunities that are pushed to us from firms, depending on their tier level, you get first access before it's opened up to members at the lower tiers. But we also have designed a business development framework and system. And so if you want to go after public sector opportunities, and this is about that operations optionality, you may not have ever even considered that, because going after public sector opportunities, it's a bit more nuanced, a lot more rigor, even for the local state education market, which is SLED, and then you have federal civilian and then defense. We focus private sector first, but for the public sector opportunities that we help our members go after, we focus on SLED first. It's a little bit, I won't say easy, but easier to manage that process. But we actually help with our technology that we have on the back end facilitate the pursuit of those public sector opportunities and partnership and teaming in order to fill in the gaps. Because usually those types of contracts are kind of diverse. Like you may be a change management company, but the opportunity also requires some type of technology piece or some other piece with it. And so we source our members to say, okay, here's an opportunity we have a member want to go after. This is the area where the gap is. And if our membership internally doesn't fit the bill, we have a database of over 7,000 plus companies that sit public-private sector that we can source and bring into the deal and help facilitate that proposal development and submission process with our members, so that all of that work isn't on their company, considering they're so small.
So essentially it's like, business development, communal business development in a sense, right? It's like people want to serve who are good at their like you're great at your serving. A person might be great at themselves at serving, but not as great as with business development. And so, and people need partners there to actually keep their businesses going. So yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
I have a question, because Huge Strategies, we started a small collective, not doing the exact same thing or not even similar, but I'm curious to just the collective model. And is this a business that you hope to scale and sell?
Oh, definitely. So yes, and we actually had interest from some larger firms. Like I said, this market is changing. And our target demographic from a business client perspective are mid-market companies that have some portion of their portfolio in the public sector, but that are private companies. And, a lot of companies are diversifying how they go after work. And typically on the SLED side and private sector, it's project-based. And as you probably know, Cameron, you too, Omi, on the federal defense side, with government, most companies are incentivized by hiring longer-term W-2 employees. So insurance benefits for that are a little different when you're trying to hire for private and SLED or project-based. And a lot of companies, what differentiates us from other platforms, consulting platforms, is the fact that because of how we support, our primary client is the consultants that are in our community. They are not the product, which is what you experience with, your gig work type platforms. We actually enable and our goal, we love it if our consultants grow out of our model, because hopefully they're going to come back and leverage our consultants when they have needs for fractional resources. And so, yes, it is intended to be something that we're scaling on the front end. It's a marketplace, but the back end, we're actually a technology product that our members get to leverage to help them move faster from a capacity perspective, going after opportunities. And over time in our roadmap, our intent is to turn that technology internal to our community for the members to be able to use directly. And so it self-nurtures the community with other communities that you see in larger traditional firms like a PwC or whoever. Their consultant pools tend to go stale because they may or may not use them. They're only pulling them when they have a need. They're not nurturing those consultants in the long term. And so with more people being out of work and trying their hand at, getting other jobs, it's more than a notion having a business. And many times folks are not prepared or situated for that back end piece that's always a part of being, having a business. And so Aspire is there to enable and support that demographic of business, which makes up the majority of the economic base, not only in the US, but globally. And so, yes, we intend to scale. US, we're nationwide US now, but the goal is to scale globally over time and to transition our product base to where our members can use it directly and provide modular portions of that technology externally. So yes, there's an intent to scale.
I love that. So what should people do next? We got to bring up our next guest, but what should people do? Where should they join? Do you have anything coming up that you want people to engage in?
Yeah, so like I said, we do have the workshop coming up. We'd love for you to sign up. There's information on the website for that. We do have an ebook as well for consultants. It's about operational optionality that you can have for free. Just go to theaspirecollective.com. We also, for businesses, if you need specialized expert talent, our average year's experience is 15 years for our members in their functional disciplines. And they have experience across different industries. And we specialize in operational optimization. So whether that's, compliance, technology, HR, you need a fractional executive. We have quite a diverse group of members. And so please reach out to us. Go check us out on our website. There's a free way to register, no cost, no risk, to push those opportunities. And if you're a consultant or a boutique firm that's looking to have a collective to grow, if you go to our site, there's 2 pages for you, and it gives you all the information. Please, love to talk to you.
All right, I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look out the Aspire Collective. I'm gonna be reaching out about
check
that.
that out. The Aspire Collective. You can go to IG. I'm sure a link is in bio to get to their website. You can also look them up on LinkedIn. Go to aspirecollective.com, theaspirecollective.com. No, this is great, and the model is intriguing for sure. I love it. I mean, figuring a way that we can communally work together. I think that's really what this time calls for. When you say that things are changing, it's that's literally what it's calling for. And I'm gonna think more on it because at Black Girl Ventures, I mentioned we're about to launch it more publicly, but I've mentioned it here a couple times. We are launching an initiative called Keep America Working. And it is all about how we support, what small business owners, startups, 2016, 17, 18, 19. It was real sexy to start. Launch
Mm-hmm.
a business, launch. Now it's like sustain. Figure a way to sustain. And then it's like, how can you use agentic AI or AI for some of the mundane tasks while you spend your capital on investing in the best talent? And so when we say keep America working, we're not just talking about full-time, part-time. We talking about whether you need to hire a consultant, whether it's fractional, whether it is seasonal, whether it's project based. Like, what does that look like? Like, my
Mm-hmm.
thought is you should be able to leave one thing and go to another. Like, with all the Americans that are here, with all the Americans and all the possible ideas and ability to build something, no one should be without a job. Is my thought. Like,
Yes, and
no one should be without work of some sort
I
and
agree.
some
There it is.
ability
There it is.
to bring
Provide
capital.
value to
Yeah.
provide value and get capital back.
Right. Nobody should be
Yep.
without that.
Yep, and our consultants run the gamut from advisory to execution. So it's not just giving you information, then you still stuck having to do the work. As long as they're starting to end, because we don't do staff augmentation, the intent is to come in from and develop a product to an outcome. So we work towards outcomes versus just coming in. We think if you're at a point where you need staff augmentation, there's plenty of solutions for staffing that are out there. But what we're doing is helping those firms with the project-based work and helping companies that need that support to reduce their time and cost of getting those experts to come in and actually create an output, a specific output for them. So thank you for this opportunity to have me on, Omi
Thank
and
you for
Cameron.
coming. We appreciate you. It's awesome. What you're doing is awesome.
Thank
So,
you.
all right. Have a
All
good
right.
rest of your day.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Yeah, I like the collective. Yesterday, I had a woman on who was a social scientist, older woman, and she was talking about. She wrote a book, and she was talking about how like the solution is we need to work together. And I think that like look, I hear that, right, and so I don't disagree with that wholeheartedly, but we may not be completely aligned on the way she was thinking about working together, but I agree with her on like what she was saying in general. And she was looking at it more like these large national organizations need to work together. I think that like that's the thing, but I think that like looking at what she's doing with the Aspire Collective and saying like, how do we work together to work? And then whose skill set, what's your skill set? If your skill set is business development, like you're a person that can go out and get partnerships. You can go, like you don't mind going and asking
Get
anybody from
business.
anything. Listen,
Government business
activate that.
contract. I think that was critical because I'll say this, one of the challenges I've had in my business as we've grown is that I'm being the key revenue driver, but empowering your partners, empowering your staff to be able to go out and get new business if they may not be either have the same networks, they may not be seeing the same opportunities, but then also their personality may not be one that trends that way. So, but I always say like the number one thing is business development because we could have all the skill in the world, but if there's nobody to pay us to do it, doesn't really matter. I'd rather have business and build and go hire somebody else to do the business than be able to do all this work and not be able to execute. So I think there's a lot there. I was wondering about how like success rates in that because I think one and I am curious about if she's had pushback from companies. I think she said she was targeting mid-market companies. So when you have like 5,000 rates or $4,500 rates, $8,000 rates for very small businesses, one person, 2, 3 people, that's usually a lot of capital for that. That can be a lot. I don't want to say usually can be a lot of capital for them, but if they're mid-market and they've already got 10, 15, 20, those are things they may be able to shoulder if the payout is there.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow I'm changing my coloring because I do not like the sepia tone that I'm in.
You know what the key is? Because I feel like my light. So anyway, I have to tell you a deeper story at some point, but ultimately, my it's not that deep, but a deeper story. My light is probably a little bit more sepia tone, but I have a more white light where literally, if y'all would see my setup, you'd be like, "What?" She's in the middle of her living room, but I just have a regular cheap lamp from like Target that trigger word, but a regular cheap lamp that I just put beside me, and it's just on. And so it makes it look so much brighter. But like if I cut this off, I probably would look a little sepia too. All right, we're gonna bring up Dr. Tara and see what she talking about today. Dr. Tara coming to the stage. Hello.
Hello, how are you all?
I'm good. We're
Hi.
good.
Hi,
Is it Dr. Tara?
it's Tara.
Tara.
Dr.
Sorry,
Tara.
I
Dr.
apologize.
Tara. The founder of the Sage Wellness Group.
Yeah.
Dr. Tara, where are you at?
I
Where
am in
Sage-
Baltimore.
Be more.
Yes.
Okay, and tell us more about the Sage Wellness Group.
Yeah, so Sage Wellness Group. So first, good morning. Thank you all so much
Good
for having me. I
morning.
love
Morning.
and I'm
Hey.
grateful for this opportunity. Sage Wellness Group is a national consultancy. We're based in Baltimore. I'm assuming, Cameron, you are a Howard graduate. I got my PhD from Howard University Clinical Psych. Yes. And we focus on organizational wellness. My background is in clinical psychology. And so our approach to organizational wellness and effectiveness is pretty tailored in that we see that organizations are comprised of people first, professionals second. And being an organization, that means that you are going to experience issues with emotional intelligence, especially in the age of AI, right? Emotional intelligence is something that is kind of getting less credibility, but still has greater impact on employee retention, employee morale, effectiveness of the organization to meet deliverables and deadlines and maintain the organization's mission and vision. We also focus on trauma-informed care practices, restorative practices, and mindfulness from an organizational effectiveness approach, meaning that if we support organizations through coaching, professional development, retreats, and then our second offering is actual implementation. So we provide trainings, coachings, workshops, retreats for organizations, but we also recognize and understand that trainings, coachings, retreats, and workshops do not change organizational culture. They usually are that one time we had this great training by this great person and we forgot what she said, but she said this one thing and we should do it. We recognize that doesn't sustain. And so on the tail end, we provide very detailed policy and procedural support to actually taking some of those objectives and literally transforming organizational culture through rewriting policy, practices, and procedures.
Okay, I love this because what I'm working on at 3B, which actually I'm going to invite you back to be a part of the podcast, or because after the 30-day show ends, I'm going to keep going live, and I'll be emailing practitioners around 3B, body, business, and belonging.
Yes,
and the idea
I'm taking notes too. Okay.
okay. And the idea that like what does it look like to live an integrated life, right? Where like it's not, you don't have to separate because I'm in business, you know, to separate because I go to wellness, because but that like all these things mesh together to provide, you know, what life is now. Especially, you know, we talk about this a lot where we're getting our entertainment and news in the same app, and so like so much is coming at us from a nervous system standpoint. Yet and still we have to separate our parts of ourselves out in conversation or just in business development, you know, but actually, you know, I'm finding that we're having to merge it more now than ever. And maybe now that I'm on the West Coast, I see it a little different than when I was on the East Coast, because people are a little bit more into it over here.
Yes.
But still, I am saying to like everybody seeing the benefits of it, of integrating your life and what that means, and how, and these are actual conversation points and relationship building points as well. Like, you know, asking people what do they do for wellness, or you know, when the last time they had a good night's sleep,
Yes.
or actually you'd be surprised how much that opens a person up in conversation.
Or makes them
Um,
defensive. I remember asking someone like, "What are your
mm,
hobbies?" And I did an opening recently, because people we are inundated with icebreakers, and I just said, if you could be a collector of things, right, that weren't related to your work, what would you collect? And people were like, wait, I can collect, like, the notion of curiosity, um, is anxiety provoking for people because we're trained to, one, have all the answers already, and like you said, have this breakdown between our brain and our bodies. And so triggering that, um, really creates space for curiosity, and that's, to me, where most great ideas lie,
mhm,
where expansion comes from being able and giving yourself permission to be curious. So yes, I agree 100%.
yeah. Tell me about, so you mentioned you're based in Baltimore, but you're national. What does it
Mhm.
mean to be national? Do you like, are you traveling? Is it virtual? Is it a community? Or
Mhm.
is it more like, are you're seeing clients? Like tell me what the
Sure.
group looks like.
So we are a group of 9 team members. We are based in Baltimore, but yes, we travel. We have clients. We have had clients as far as California. We recently wrapped up a training series with the University of Minnesota, their School of Social Work. We also worked with the state of Minnesota after the murder of George Floyd. The state contacted us to hold process groups for state employees,
Mm,
after his murder. And then we were called back by the state during the trial of Derek Chauvin to hold literal process groups while the state was awaiting the jury's verdict. And so it looks very different. So we've done stuff where we're really on the front lines with staff, and we've also worked with organizations. So another organization we worked with during COVID was NBC Universal, holding space for their staff because you still have to produce.
mm.
Right? And
Yeah.
so, right, you still have to produce. And so, what does that mean for me as a person when I have to report on everything that's going on, but I'm also a
Hmm.
recipient of everything that's going on too?
Oh my God.
Yes.
I
Yes,
tell people
right?
that all the time.
Yes.
Like, it's funny when people say like, oh, like, what are some of the challenges you face, leading Black Girl Ventures? And I think what, the thing I think they're expecting me to say is
Mhm,
like access to capital or something like that. And
mhm.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, we all face access to capital
Right.
challenges, right? So like, I don't feel like that's a challenge that's unique to me. So that's not my go-to one, but I tell them one of the things that is challenging about being a leader at Black Girl Ventures is that while the community is also experiencing whatever they're experiencing, I am also,
Yes.
as a Black woman, experiencing it as well, whether
Mhm,
that is market shifting, whether it is, racist driven events that
mhm,
happen, whether it is, like all the news hitting us is also hitting me, but
mhm.
I can't
You've got to
just
be in a
crash
you just
No,
out.
get
it's
You know what I
important.
mean? Like,
is it
Yes.
I'm the same way in politics where it's politics clearly in these political
Mhm,
these politically charged times. Trump, we just saw like I there's videos I'm getting in real time right now about, hey, can you put this up on him politics about ICE. ICE has come to various airports. They went
yes.
to their ATL and they're already dragging people out. They're supposed to just be there to support TSA, but in people are looking for information
Mhm,
consistently. People, family and friends are looking for insight,
mhm.
but it's like, hey, I'm also learning, but I'm also
Yes,
being impacted because it's not like I'm living above this.
right.
You're taking it in and you're having to compartmentalize
Mhm,
consistently because I still want to be a service to my community or be a service to my colleagues, be a service to those that I share information and insight with. But it is, to me, that's also one of the biggest challenges that you deal with. It's like, yeah, you want to make more money or get more
mm,
clients, but it's like, how am I constantly both receiving,
mhm.
processing, putting aside me and putting the community and putting that output forward?
Right, and debriefing, right? Like, we live in a society where things are starting and stopping literally at the same time, right? Like, even with, with the, meetings, like, the meeting starts at 9:30 and I end one at 9:30. So there's
mm,
no debriefing, right? And so usually
Ooh.
mm.
Ooh,
right?
I got a little meeting hack. 25-minute meetings.
Yes, I do the
Flat out.
same. I do the same.
25-minute meetings.
I need to go to the bathroom. I need to get some water. I need to say, "Oh, that irritated me," or let me see what it is that I'm talking about. And so, just the ability to breathe, and especially in a world where we are becoming more and more reliant and dependent upon technology. We are not robots, right? We still need that. Our bodies still need to experience fluctuation, because if not, we create a new baseline for ourselves, where our baseline as those who are tasked with, one, holding space for our audiences and giving information, becomes one where we're at a heightened state of anxiety. And we have to allow ourselves to reset if we are going to, honoring your 3 V's, maintain and sustain our businesses and create this sense of belonging. We have to honor our body's needs for process. And so we support organizations in doing that. One of the things, while you were talking, in 2023, we launched, specifically just from my experience coaching executive level Black women, was something called Black Girl Sabbath, where the notion of achieving within the workforce and rest don't have to be seen as competing ends of a spectrum. Oftentimes retreats, is like only for rest, and we want you to give up this notion of achievement, or only for achievement, and there's no room for rest. And seeing how we can bring that together and honoring, like you said, our full personhood, and allowing moments of Sabbath, right? Creating Sabbath. One of the things that we teach is segment intending. So if I know that I have a busy day, looking at the different markers on my calendars as segments of my day and setting intentions for each segment, and teaching people how to check into their body. Am I noticing that I'm becoming distracted? Am I noticing that I'm feeling a pit in my stomach, or I'm hungry, right? What does that then mean for my intention setting before I move into something else? And like Cameron said,
Child, that I'm hungry part.
yeah.
Sometimes you just got to stop and be like, wait a minute.
Right. Let me get something.
Actually,
Yes.
I'm hungry. You
I'm
know what I mean?
hungry. Yes. Yes. I didn't mean that. I was hungry. Right.
Right.
Let me put this person on this side of the day. And so again, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, because oftentimes when we talk about wellness, it seems like this thing right here, but it really becomes a part of your ability to be effective. It really is the main part of the foundation in which you want to build everything else off of. Cameron, you tired? You done stretched and yawned.
I'm sorry. So I went to bed at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, this
so
is
you're
not true.
sleepy.
Doctor.
So if you get irritable,
right.
Yeah,
because
so I'm trying to move people to other sides of the day.
To other sides of the day, yes.
Other segments. I'm sorry,
what,
this is not true, because I'm tapped in, and I'm like, what happened? Can I be honest? You might be able to see it in my glasses. As you said that, I was like, she's right. Let me move these motherfuckers to the because I'm about to take a little 30-minute nap.
Yes.
Literally, I was doing that in real time, like, excuse me, thank you. And I had Gemini in my Gmail app right that I was like, I want to move this meeting. Can you find a respectful way to say this?
That's hilarious. So I just launched. It's ready. Ooh. The breathing bell.
Ooh.
Okay. And so
do we have a bell? Ding.
Yeah, well, that's a long story. Anyway, let me so the breathing bell is a breathwork app. So I'm a breathwork practitioner.
Yes.
Breathwork, yoga nidra, Reiki 1 and 2. So which is, I was running real hard, hit a wall, and decided to take a sabbatical. And I had to like rearrange life to be able to do it. And in the realm of sabbaticals, it was short. It was only like 3 months. But I realized I had never rested. I never stopped to do nothing. Like, it was just like, do nothing was like, what? That's crazy. Why would I do nothing? And so this is the first time in a while that I'd actually like been able to just, well, like ever, honestly, like stop and do nothing. Because a lot of times, like you go take a vacation, then you need a vacation from the vacation.
Yes.
Then you need like a day after the vacation. It's like, what, you went on vacation, but did you need 2 days after the vacation before you go back to work? Because you did so much on a vacation. Like, you didn't really go on. There needs to be another word. You're not, and if you are, you're vacating your job, but you ain't vacate work.
Your life,
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You still went, you did more work. So there probably needs to be another word for that. But so I decided to just take a break where I had nothing to do
Mhm.
and did nothing. And honestly, there was a lot of things that came up for me around self-worth and
Mhm. Yes.
like and how that was
Identity.
attached to work identity
Yes.
and what
Yes.
does that look like? Lord, identity.
Yeah, and even
That's a
like feelings of
whole
like shame or guilt or
s-
worthy. Yes.
so
All yes,
so
yes.
look, this is what we talk about at BGV right now. I'm so good. I gotta have you back when I launch 3B
Oh,
because
thank you.
when we're talking about what we need to really talk about right now that I feel like is permission to
Yes.
shift.
Yes. Yes.
Permission to shift and shifting without shame.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if we look at what's happening with small business owners, there is like even like and you talked about it, the news cycles around what's happening with Slutty Vegan and Pinky Co, what's happening with Uncle Nearest,
Yes.
Pat
Mhm.
McGrath, Amico, even down to when Carol's daughter exited.
Yes.
Like there's
Mhm.
this public shame,
Mhm.
right? And shame is not a movement. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe in some ways, shame is a part of some movements
Right.
and it has maybe worked in some ways, but like I don't think it should be a primary tool
Mhm.
for us for how we move, right?
Yeah.
And there's a thin line between like an actual complaint or actual feedback
Mhm.
and shaming.
And shaming. Yes.
And this is what and I do think it's impacting people's ability to lower their ego and make different decisions in business that won't work because there's this and then all of that and then you're up against like European America says you're not good
Oh,
enough because you can't scale to 50,000 locations.
right.
Right? Like that right there, permission to shift. Like
Mhm.
even in me coming to it saying like at Black Girl Ventures, we need to move into a different initiative and then considering launching Keep America Working,
Mhm.
my first thought is like, how are we gonna tell the public this? Like, is
Right.
everybody gonna be like, oh no, why y'all, are
Right.
you changing your name? Are you not serving us no more? Like, we're broadening up, we're casting a broader net, throwing out a broader signal for workforce development and what that means. But it's a fear because you don't want to be shamed.
Yes. Yes.
You may feel your own, like, I need to shift,
Mhm.
but
But you
permission to
resist it.
shift,
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
shifting without shame
Yes.
is something we need to be talking about.
I agree. And so in restorative practices, we teach this relational thing that because when you're in business, so looking and honoring your 3Bs, belonging means that we're in community with each other, right? We're in concert with each other. And so if I'm a business owner, I am in relationship with my community, with whoever is purchasing my products, whether or services. And in relationships, there are going to be ruptures, right? Period. In
Mm.
any relationship, starting with the most important relationship we have with ourselves, and then everyone else as it sees fit. And one of the things, like just to add on to what you said so brilliantly, is the need for there has to be opportunity for repair,
Mm.
right? Because
Ooh.
if we know that relationships have ruptures versus relationships are ruptured, but no, relationships have little rupture points, then there has to be opportunity for repair. And we are in such a society where cancel culture is the in thing. It's the new black, right? You can't like no, like where's repair? And also when we look at the notion of rupture and repair, is this even something that needs repair or is this something that needs holding? Right? Like when we think about some of the businesses
Mm.
that you named, they didn't do anything wrong. They reached capacity for where they're at right now. And so as a community, how do we hold space for them so that they can be repaired?
But you saying something because I have a friend
Mhm.
who is friends with Russell Simmons.
Mhm.
And this is the conversation that she has with me. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like when I'm like, but how do you feel about that? Like,
Right.
I don't know. And she's like, look, I want to believe
Mhm.
in restorative practices. And like,
Mhm.
what is it? She's like, that is what I'm focused on restorative practices. Like,
Mhm.
is a person sentenced to some social death forever?
Right. Mhm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Is that like, do people get to restore themselves? And I'm not caping for him in any way, but I'm just saying, like, she started making me think about that.
Mhm.
Like, do we have space for repair at all. And you talked about holding space for processing.
Mhm.
Like, there's such a big work to do there.
Yes. Yes.
Also, I don't know if y'all ever work with is it Kellogg? I think it's
The
Kellogg.
Kellogg Foundation.
I don't
Mhm.
know if it's a Kellogg
Okay.
Foundation. I want to say it is, but they have some. They were at one point doing a lot of work.
Right.
This is before. This
Yeah.
is before George Floyd was murdered and all that. They were already
Mhm.
doing work around
Mhm.
like restorative
Mhm.
practices and how you hold space for healing communities and things like that. And I think that like there's so much work to be done in the space of processing.
Yes.
Cause we're not even talking like
Right.
what
How do you even know how you feel? Right? Like a lot of times when we think about what processing is not, someone is giving you your opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone is telling you
mm,
how you should feel about something based on how headlines are worded, based on their opinion, based on their inability to process, right? Based on them processing on the spot. And so even before you get to the actual activity of processing, we have to define and have shared language about what it is, right? Because
mm,
processing means space, processing means time, processing means being able to think through and come back and ask for clarity, right? And a lot of that is taken out when we call things processing. And so going back to your point about restorative practices, like restorative practices absolutely holds people accountable. And
Mm-hmm.
there are different levels of accountability and actions taken, you know, for whether or not you're welcome back into this community, you're welcome back into this community at this level, at what this community has capacity for. Like it honors all of those things. And so it's not this either or way of thinking. It's a dialectical way of thinking. This and yet, I'm gonna hurry up because Karen about to fall asleep on that.
yeah.
Oh no, I was about to ask you a question.
No, this and
No,
yet,
don't
yeah,
do that.
this,
Don't project that on me.
this happened, and yet, you know, we are still doing this, right? Yes, we forgive you, and yet we cannot allow you in such and such, or we are holding you to this realm. And
Yes, we
so
still forgive you, and we cannot allow you.
right, and so
All
both,
feelings are
But there's
welcome. All behaviors
but
are
there
not.
yeah, ooh, okay.
yes,
I I think there's degrees to that because there was when you said because we were using Russell Simmons, I was immediately I'm from Chicago. I'm
mm-hmm.
thinking like he's never coming back. But anyway, the actual question I have, hearing about what you do in your background in this thought process, and you weigh into Omi on this. There seems to be so much more focus on restoring yourself, like you said, getting the vacation after the vacation.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage your own feelings? How do we know how to process? What is this processing? Like we're talking through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then appears there's a level of business that's like, let me let all the little people do that. We
Right.
got to push through
Mm-hmm.
because we come from multiple generations of like suck it up, push
Yeah.
through, either the hardest workers coupled with the people who are most connected, most capital. I'm willing to go farther and harder and faster than others will, and that's how I really get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes with the sacrifice of probably denying yourself various things. And I think that the culture and the mindset there has become attractive to people.
Mm-hmm.
It's consistently been attractive to people because people want the end payout. Like, I
Right.
want to be rich. I want to be powerful. I want to be impactful. I want my name. I want my name or my company or organization to have a legacy. And even if I had well capitalized, I'm still out working, out hustling, doing all
Mm-hmm.
these other things more. And what do you say to those people who because I'll be honest, I find myself on both sides
Yeah,
of this.
absolutely.
I think like when people tell me like, "Oh, you're supposed to take time for yourself," you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Unplug, do all this other stuff. Some of me is like, not that you're weak, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like I would love to, but I got something to do. And in order to be the 1% of the 1% who succeeds, not even that's not a money thing.
Right.
I'm gonna have it comes with more and more sacrifices that others are not willing to take on. And so I know it's not ideal, but
Mm-hmm.
this is my goal and I'm willing to push back. Then other times I'm like, the other times I'm like, you know what, I really do need that, or maybe that is the best way. But I haven't seen a bunch of examples of people in their building phase or in
Mm.
their
Mhm.
in their growth phase of that I'm looking at that are like, oh, I have all these healing practices and I take
Mhm.
time for myself. They take time here and there, but damn near is always a universal story of workaholics.
Yeah. So my thought in
I
a
got so many thoughts in it. I'm gonna let Dr. Sarah go
Oh, no,
first.
no. Did
Sorry.
you wanna jump in
No,
first?
no, no. Go ahead.
No,
Go
you the
ahead.
expert. Come on. I
Okay,
talk to
so
her all the time.
Yeah.
my thought would be if we were working together, right? If we were bringing this up in coaching, I don't ever want to take anything from you that's working, right? So I would be curious about one, what your definition of success is. So you said a couple of things, right? You said something about success. So I would want to define that in so many ways, like holistically. So financial is one, health is another, relationship is another, your quality of life is another, right? I would have you define that because we speak these things so subjectively as if everyone as if everyone has the same definition. The second thing I would do is work and talk with you about exploring that resistance piece to rest, like you mentioned weak, and we can bring that in. Like I think people who do that have some type of weakness. That's a valid statement. Like I'm not going to push back against that, and I want to be curious about that. Like what is it about that? Like where does the weakness come from? Because they need and explore honestly probably generational, society, gender identity as it relates to that too. And then after some time, beginning to see if you can start to set goalposts for yourself. Because one of the things that happens when we work with ambiguous phrases, right? Like that top 1% or success, there's no definitive goalpost. And so the goalpost keeps moving. And so what happens is you hit a mark of success that you may have normally defined as successful, but because you didn't, it passes you by. Like Kaya, you missed the whole thing, right? I missed the whole thing. I missed that point where this could happen, or I missed that point where this could happen. And then from a quality of life standpoint, so for me, for my business and for myself, I don't want anything that doesn't add to my quality of life. And that's a balancing act, right? But you have to add to my quality of life. And so if part of my quality of life, I'm a parent, is I get to spend more time with my children, I refuse to sacrifice that anymore, right? And so it may not be, I'm home every evening, but twice a week, right? I get to have that because that's also a marker of success for me, right? And a lot of times people will say, I want to spend more time with my family, but they've hustled and grinded so hard that by the time they get there, their family and friends don't want to spend time with them. They've missed that critical development, or it's very transactional, right? Because the relationship hasn't been able to be built and developed. And so part of the work would be, one, allowing yourself the question, and this is a question where I start with, am I willing to think about this differently? If the answer is no, keep doing what you're doing because your body's going to tell you that you need to be at some point, right? Your body physically can't go that fast and that hard and that long for that long. But then two, if the answer is yes, I am willing to think about this differently. How do we explore it by keeping, okay, I want to be here based on these self-defined markers. And where are my goalposts for each of them so that I don't miss it? Because where we see burnout and exhaustion, or people saying like, well, I have all of this and I don't have anyone to spend it with, or I do have people to spend it with, but it feels very surface level. How do we begin to set goal markers so that when you hit them, you allow yourself, even if it's 15 minutes or 15 days, right, to really feel and experience and receive the work of your actions and
That
your,
was
your
perfect.
intentions. Yeah.
You know why that's perfect?
Mhm.
Because the app will handle that for you. Okay,
Yes.
Cameron? All right. So first of all,
I'm sorry, Kim, was that helpful to your question? Was that
No, it was helpful. I mean, it is. I
so
mean,
here's what I
okay?
say. I also thought
Mhm.
because I agree with you, Cameron. Is like, you know what I mean? It's the idea of like, listen, I gotta do all I can do with this time of day,
Mhm.
and like whatever else is secondary because I'm trying to get this money, right?
Right.
And the reason why I even launched 3B, the reason why I launched Body Business and Belonging, the reason why I am launching it is because I thought that all this grind and all this, like that was what was causing me success. But when I had time to stop and actually look at what was creating my success, it was not so much being team no sleep as it was understanding that like I was not deep in thought and contemplation that was causing me to procrastinate. Right. So I think I would say zoom out and like if you look at the course of like what has made you successful and then ask yourself, what was it exactly? Was it the time you put in? Because I know times when I've like it's time, but also there's a moment when like you're hammering away at something too long and you're not actually solving it. You really do need to get up and leave it and come back. I would say that like during what was really the real secret sauce is not typically what we have time to slow down and look at until you made it to a certain place. I don't know that when I look back, I'm like, oh shoot, actually, when I was building Black Girl Ventures, even before Black Girl Ventures, when I was building the company I have for Black Girl Ventures, I was not deep in contemplative thought. I was like, we need to go. We need to make this money. Let's get it out. Whiteboard it. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Company starts working, right? When it came to building Black Girl Ventures, same thing. I wasn't thinking deeply. I had a feeling. I knew that something would work, and I was going whiteboard it out. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. 30-day show, right? I'm like, bet we should do this. I didn't think, I literally came up with it 1 week, and the next week I was calling you like, I'm about to do this thing. But because you know what I was taking for granted, all the thoughts that I was having before it got to that I should do it, this is the idea that's now here that I should actually execute on. I wasn't taking any of that into consideration. I was just only looking at the moment I decided. It was like, I'm going to do this thing. I need to put it into work. I need to lock in. Let's go, right? And then, but really, if I zoom out from that, I'm leading from spirit. I am not letting myself get distracted by, what may or may not work. I'm being like, I'm leaning into testing heavily. I am shortening the window between my decision-making and my execution. And I've refined how to do that over time based off of what I know myself to be successful at. And then I know over time now to go get a team for places of things where either I don't want to do it and that makes me weak at it, or not so great. That makes it a threat because I don't want to do it, or it makes it a threat because I don't have the capacity for it for real in my life. So I think what happens over time is you actually figure out what works. Versus like in the beginning, you're just testing, you're trying to figure out what works. So you're really exhausting yourself trying to figure out how you work and what works. But what you get smarter
and you got to get the
about-
right lessons. You got to get the right lessons.
You got to
out
get
of
the
it.
lessons, and then you get smarter about it. Here's what I think though. What if I had found breath work in the middle of that? I probably could have got to it quicker because the level of clarity that I get from one 30-minute session of breath work is worth 3 days of me trying to hammer it out energetically. Yoga, 20 to 30 minutes of yoga nidra will get you 2 to 4 hours of sleep back. So if I take 30 minutes to do yoga nidra, I actually supported my performance because I increased the amount of time, the amount of rest that I had so that I can actually go. Like, think about how you fuel up and then shift your perception of what fueling up looks like. That's, I think, the difference.
Absolutely. I agree, because you're going to pay for it one way or the other, right? Like how you said 20 minutes gives me 3 hours versus 3 hours of hammering and exhausting my brain, which is not designed to go that hard, right? And I'm still sleeping poorly. And also too, I love how you said, like the need to incorporate. I think of reading this article by Richard Bronson, and he talks about him and oh gosh, I'm forgetting the guy from Reddit, but both of them talked about they don't have business meetings in offices. Their business meetings are outside, right? Because you can see how nature works circularly. Nature doesn't work in this very linear thought pattern that we've been trained to do. And so like they're experiencing this, or they're having meetings outside, they're having meetings here. And how you can activate different parts of your brain in a way to really encompass a lot more brain power and capacity too. And so, thinking about effectiveness from an all-encompassing lens, and like you said too, about if I'm able to pour into myself, even in this little way, like your body doesn't need, this until we get truly burned out, but little intentional touch points with myself, with people that I love, with relationships that I'm cultivating, really impact me for the long run. Even if we think about that from a business standpoint, listening to you talk about, how you were able to grow your business, a lot of it is who I was able to connect with on a depth level versus surface, versus just transactional too, makes a big impact as well.
Yeah, I think but Cameron, I also want to add is part of the reason why there's this narrative of you got to grind, or else you're weak, because nobody else is implanting another narrative.
Yeah.
And I want to say it's as simple as that. So I think
Ooh.
right now it's
Mhm.
time to employ a different, and that's why one of the things I focus on is like body as a part of economic mobility.
Yes.
We don't talk about it that way. It's like, oh, you can't focus on your body until you get richer. Once you get richer, now you can do what
Mhm.
But if your body
Serena's
breaks, if
husband
your
is
body
doing,
breaks
right? Like,
down, you never get richer. If your
right.
body breaks down,
Or you
Exactly.
can't
it's
enjoy
the
it.
only
You can't
it's
build
the
a
only
legacy.
vehicle. It's the only vehicle you got. So if
You
you
can't
can't
build a
drive your
legacy on your last leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
vehicle,
Like
I
it's
like
just
that.
it's not gonna work. So, but now we're getting to a place, the work that Dr. Tyra is doing, the work that I'm doing, the work that a bunch of practitioners are doing, is now pushing that other piece
Mhm.
of the information. Hey, actually no. Team no sleep is stupid.
Right.
Actually no. Like, you need to go to sleep, you need to eat, you need to
Mhm.
rest, you need to fuel up. Like,
Mhm.
But it
if
sounds cooler.
well,
I think it's
It does.
I think sexy.
You think what? You think
I
sleep is
think it's
sexy?
sexy to I think whatever you can make anything be provocative, So I think
You don't grind, you don't shine.
it feeds a narrative to keep people exhausted and feed into a different machine that exploits our body, exploits our brilliance, and leaves us exhausted mentally, physically, spiritually, financially.
yeah. I think, currency. I'm realizing that, like, which currency you prioritize when. How you using words like invest. How do you view investing?
Mhm.
We look at, athletes at the highest level, and we, look at their routines. LeBron's routine on rest and repair
Is
It's serious.
is
That's what I was gonna say.
is
Like
serious.
it
He
does
takes
not get
his rest and repair
compromised.
just as
Yeah,
serious as playing a
right.
game.
Yeah.
you're
Mhm.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Speaking of
That's
that, is we on day 23, our MJ day. Just had to say that. But thank you so much, Dr.
our LeBron
Tyra,
day. Our
Yes.
LeBron day.
thank you so much for coming and
Thank
joining
you all
us.
so
Thank you,
much.
good
This
Again,
has
doctor.
I'm
been
gonna reach
wonderful.
back
Thank you
out
all
for us to
so
have
much.
some more conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, people out there, if you have organizations, I think this process piece is huge. Like, even I'm thinking about this. Even everybody that comes on, I'm always thinking about how I can work with them at Black Girl Ventures. But one of the things that you're saying is like, this moment in time with your organization also needs processing help.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
There's a lot happening with, like, either people having to lay people off, or like,
Mhm.
like, there's so many things necessary from that standpoint. So yeah, this is really, really helpful.
Thank you. Thank you all again. Yes, and God bless you. Like seriously, like bless your vision. And I'm grateful to be a part of this community, more so by having been a follower of you. So this is really a wonderful, beautiful full circle moment for me. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. All right, have a good day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
I swear I'm not. So I didn't. I'm like, when you you like not trying to open your mouth. I yawn inside, and it's not
Yes.
because she was tired. I'm telling you. I don't know when I'm asleep because I've got 2 onboarding calls today. So I'll let your boy contracts. Whoop, whoop. But
That's funny.
Anyways,
Um,
can I get you to commit to something on air?
oh Lord, I don't know. I don't like it. What are we
Can
talking
you give
about?
me a little sample yoga nidra?
Yeah, yoga ninja.
Can you give me like a
You
little
want me to do it
sample?
right now?
No, I meant like
Oh, I was about
later.
to say, come on. Well, you want me to throw on the music? What we doing? You ready? Lay down. I got you.
I've never done it, but if you're telling me you just said something earlier in your as you were talking, um, that really struck a chord with me. If you can find a way to help me improve my sleep, so my quality, because my quantity is like a function of hours.
I
My
absolutely
quantity
1000% can help you improve
quantity is
your
a
sleep
function of
quality.
hours, but I need my quality because like if I'm not gonna get as much, I need that shit to be impactful.
Yeah.
And it
Um,
just in around 42, 43, around 43, 44.
I
Last
got
year a
you.
lot of stuff
So,
changed.
so I got number one, I got you. First of all, what I'll say is yes. So yes, I can 100% help you with that. Um, you can also, if you want to just try it out, and this is why the app is so important. If you go to omibell.com and click try the breathing bell, it's right on the first page. I'll also text it to you. And I'll also be posting it on socials and things like that. And I'm gonna send it to all my homies. But there is a yoga nidra option there. There is also there's also a the double inhale, which is a breath
The
work.
breathing bell, where is this at?
Just when if you're on omibell.com, it should be
Mm-hmm.
the button is right on top of my picture. It says try the breathing bell.
Oh, boom, right there.
Yeah, and then so you can test it out. But in terms of like working with me, I'm definitely down to offer you a session because you would need a little longer. Like you have to do multiple rounds on the app for you to get to the length that you need. So the 20-30 minutes, I would say a good 20-30 minutes will get you where you need to go. You'll wake up, you'll be feeling refreshed. But for ongoing maintenance, definitely. And I built up, shout out to Maria who gave me the framing for the app and the idea to even go full force with this. I finally got the audio into the app uh, yeah, I got that. The audio's finally there. Ow. So you can test out Yoga Nidra. You can test out different types of breath work. Save your sessions, come back, all of that. There's one thing I got to fix it that Maria just told me about. I'm gonna go check that out. But yeah, you could try it. But I can. So offline, if you want to book a more full session, then let's book a more full session. And so I can like really guide you through it. Because to get that extra 2 to 4 hours of sleep, we need 20 to 30 minutes. Like 10 minutes is not gonna get you there, but it'll get you somewhere.
Do
So
you have to do a session a day to get that hours of sleep, or is it a session to teach me how to go do it myself?
you can't do yoga nidra yourself because it's a guided body scan. So you can't do it
Oh,
yourself.
okay. But you don't
But
need
the
to
breath
keep
work,
doing it, do you?
I mean, I don't think it's something you necessarily need to do. I don't, depending on your level of sleep deficit, let me say that. Like if you may be repairing a level of sleep deficit that may take you multiple sessions, but depending. So we would have to see. Like I would need to do a session with you, get some questions. So I would need to ask you some questions about where you are, what your sleep habits are like. Have a session with you, and then you tell me what it feels like. Like how do do you feel more rested? And then we take a couple days to see like when that drops off for you, because it could be like depending on your actual behaviors and habits every day, you could be like repairing some of it, adding to it, repairing some of it, adding to, like your sleep deficit could just be so up and down. So it might not be like one session gets you fully where you need to go. We might need several, or then we need to start visiting like, well, what is your sleep discipline? What are your sleep behaviors like? So that there may be other ways to get you energized. So like what would our goals be? Do we get you energized? Do we just focus on sleep deficits? And how do we do both? Because I think when it comes to getting you energized or getting you clarity, let's say you're moving through a big decision making right now, or you're taking on like multiple clients and you're finding that like you have moments of overwhelm, moments of anxiety, I would say breath work is where you want to go with that. So you could tap into breath work several times a day and several different kinds of breath work. The double inhale is going to give you more of a I feel like that one's a little bit deeper in its reworking and clarity pieces. It can almost get psychedelic in a sense without having to take anything. Like, so it's a deeper work. I would say with like 478 or 444, these are like immediate everyday, like I'm feeling anxiety, I need something. I'm feeling overwhelmed, I need something. These are like go to 478, 444. You can do them with guides or without guides. The double inhale you can also do with guides or without guides, but that one a couple times a week gets you energized where you need to go and get you clear. I think a lot
That's
of times as
important.
business,
That's
yeah,
key.
that's the piece. Like the ROI on clarity is confidence, is more money, it's better conversation communication, it's easier work with team. Like getting clear is literally everything. So I can commit to that. I can commit to helping you repair some of your sleep deficits. Can you speaking of being weak and all that, can you commit? I'll become your sleep personal trainer at that point. That's how you should look at
I'm
it.
with it. I'm with it.
Yeah, like that is my job to think about how you sleep. Are you sleeping good? Where are you sleeping? What is around you while you sleep? What noises? Do you have sounds? Do you not have sounds? Do you take naps? What, like at that point I am studying your rest and versus like studying your like you rest as a muscle versus your like calf muscle. You know what I mean? Like versus like you're like you getting stronger muscle wise. But it's like repairing your sleep and your sleep deficits will really help you become a better leader, to be honest. So
Okay.
yeah. And then I'm gonna need you to go to all your clients, because all of them need it. Everybody in politics needs to be doing this work for 1000%. I mean, everybody needs to be doing this work, but I would say like the level of nervous system attacks that we're all under is wild and is at differing levels depending on what your job is. So I think like, yeah, there's so much there.
I love this app. I like the brief. I'm gonna try this out on me. I love it. It's about that time.
It is about that time. At the end of the show,
The show going
go in. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us for the 30-day show today. Tomorrow we'll be right back. Tomorrow is day 24. That's crazy. Look how far we got. Go to omibell.com. Click try the breathing bells right there on the homepage. Check it out. Get to breathing today. My voice is on there too. So I finally got the voice on there.
Voice. We love that voice.
Thank you. And go to Director's Playbook. Is it Director's Playbook? Digital Director's Playbook. Digital Director's Playbook.
Let me do my own drop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And this Monday, there's a new article on the Digital Directors Playbook. You can go to digitaldirectorsplaybook.com or find us also on Substack, anywhere and also on your social media. And check me out on LinkedIn. I think I'm going heavy LinkedIn. We got some more announcements this way, more stuff coming up. Africa Real Estate Investment Festival is coming up in a few weeks. Excited. So thank you very much for tapping in with your boy, Mr. Cameron Calvin. Back to homie.
There you go. Thank y'all so much. Have a good rest of your day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.